former University of Alabama linebacker and former Tuscaloosa County High Wildcat, I might add. Terrence Jones is with us. How are you, Terrence?
I'm good, Gary. How you doing?
Very well. Good to have you, my friend. This is a special week for everybody that's an Alabama fan or an alum or a former player, current player, obviously. It's Tennessee week, and you played in 4 of these games. Unfortunately, only were on the winning side once in 2005. I remember that heartbreaking game in 2003. It went to 5 overtimes, I think, and it looked like you had Tennessee beat about 3 or 4 different times in that game, but they wound up pulling it out. But as a former Alabama player, just what do you remember about the Tennessee game specifically, and what that week was like when you got ready to play the Vols?
Gary, outside of the Iron Bowl, this might be the biggest game on Alabama's schedule each year. They refer to it as the third Saturday in October because, you got a deep history of some good games in the past. But Tennessee's always a big week. This year we're actually playing in Tennessee. So, to be up there in a hostile environment in front of all their fans, it's a great environment, don't get me wrong, but, it's also can be hostile at times. So, hopefully we can go up there and take care of business. With Tennessee, the way they've been playing all year, we got to make sure we play all 4 quarters because they have proven to be a good second-half team. So, hopefully we're able to go up there and take care of business and bring home the W.
When you were playing, and at that point in time, of course, the Vols have kind of come back around now. They're really good this year, but they've been down. But at that point, when you were a player, Tennessee was really good every year, and they were competing for the SEC championship. Alabama was going through, some changes. Franchione had left after the 2002 season. You came in here to play in 2003. Mike Price was the coach. Then he was gone without ever coaching a game. Mike Shula came in. What was that like when you're Alabama? You're one of the marquee names in college football, but you're going through all that transition, and yet you're trying to get the program back to where you want to be. What do you recall about that? How tough was that?
It was real tough. Coming in, during the whole recruiting process, I got recruited by Coach Franchione. I actually signed with Coach Price and played for Mike Shula. It was a tough time, but all the guys I came in with, they all bled crimson. So no matter what the situation was, they was always just happy to be there at Alabama. Alabama do have a deep history of a lot of success, and our plan was to help bring that success back. We didn't have much success, but we did have a great year back in 2005. And but I think we kind of set the footwork on what the program is at now. Coach Saban has came in, did a tremendous job bringing home multiple championships. So just to see where we were and where we are now, that's an awesome job by the coaching staff and all the players who also contributed, current and former players. So we're just so proud to say that we did have something to do with the success that Bama did, that they have it now for laying the footwork down to the success they got now.
Former Alabama linebacker Terrence Jones is our guest here on the Gary Harris Show. You mentioned 2005, and that was a special season. You guys had some big wins. You rolled into the Tennessee game. At the time, you were 6-0. You were ranked number 5 in the country. They were number 17. As a junior linebacker that year, you had lost to them, as we mentioned, 2003, 2004. But in that game, the Alabama defense played one of the best games we've ever seen an Alabama defense play. And you managed to pull out a tough defensive game. I remember the play, and you're going to have to refresh my memory, but they had a guy who was on his way in to score and was going to take the lead late. And I guess it was Roman Harper that knocked the ball out there to preserve the game.
Yeah, it was Roman Harper that came up, and I think the fullback that actually had Brooke Lewison going in to score. Roman, being the guy he is, came up and made a good play, put a hit on the ball, and the ball came out and pretty much helped seal the deal for us. That, like you said, that was one of the best games of my career at Alabama that I got the chance to play in. Just to pull that victory off, that was definitely a morale booster, a confidence booster. We knew then that we had something special in that 2005 season. That whole team was full of some great guys like Roman, D'Amico, Charlie Pepper, Mark Anderson, some good guys. So that team was definitely loaded. Probably one of the most memorable teams that I can remember in Alabama history for defensively.
And after losing to them in 03 and 04, what was that post-game celebration like in 05? You got to break out the cigars. How sweet was that?
Oh, that was sweet. It was actually nice to finally be on the winning side of the Tennessee rivalry. So to get to experience the cigar celebration in the locker room, that was something that I actually grew up watching, like from watching some former teams play when they actually beat Tennessee, to see the celebration they have in the locker room. So for us to be able to partake in that same celebration, I mean, that was very memorable. I actually still had that same cigar on my shelf, so can't let that go.
The cigar tradition goes back to the trainer Jim Goosetree, who had gone to Tennessee and then was working for Coach Bryant and broke out cigars after a victory over Tennessee. And that's been the case every year since that the winning team breaks out cigars in the post-game locker room. All right, now it's a situation where Alabama's the dominant team in the rivalry. They've won 9 in a row under Saban. This is a dynasty. I know as a former player you're extremely proud of what this Alabama team and this program has accomplished under Coach Saban. But it's a new year and a new game, and you never go into Knoxville and expect it to be easy. But your thoughts on this year's game between Alabama and Tennessee?
I'm looking forward to it. Tennessee, they actually get that program turned around in the right direction. But that's what we need here in the SEC in a way to make us the conference that we are. But it's going to be a big-time game. It's a road game, but, if you ask me the same question at the beginning of the season, I'll probably not know a word with a freshman quarterback. But, like, Jalen, he's proven that he's able to go on the road and, like, pull the victory off. He does a good job of managing the game, and the defense has been playing, like, outstanding. So I think it'll be a good matchup. Their offense versus our defense, and vice versa. So hopefully, like I said earlier, Tennessee's a second half team. Like most of all their victories they had, they came back and from a large deficit and like pulled it off. So hopefully Alabama's able to go in there, handle business, and put the game away early, and able to maintain their lead and bring the victory back to Tuscaloosa.
You missed Coach Saban by a year. As I said, your final season was 2006, and when he got here, it was a little bit of a rebuilding job. But as a former player, just watching what has been accomplished here, just your thoughts on Nick Saban. I know everybody was excited when he got hired. Did you have any inkling that Alabama would be this dominant again?
Not right off. I mean, I knew the great coach that Coach Saban was from all the success he had at like LSU and the other stops, but to like win the championship as soon as he did, like as quickly as he did, that was very surprising. But he came in and like got the program turned all the way around. Bringing some big time guys in and having those guys produce on the field. So kudos to him. Because I barely missed him by a year. If I'd have redshirted out, I had a chance to play with him. But he definitely came in and did a great job. The program is outstanding. When I get back down to Tuscaloosa, just to go on the campus and see just how big the campus has changed. I mean, you got to think about it. Like a lot of it got to do with the success the football program has had. So he definitely has done a great job at Alabama. We're glad we got him. Hopefully, hold on to him as long as we can.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's unbelievable what's happening. Yeah. Hey, you mentioned Jalen Hurts, and you being a defensive guy, you know how hard it is to play quarterback in this league. You know what defenses try to do to confuse guys, even guys that have some experience, much less a true freshman. How impressive is it that at a place like Alabama, where usually you got to wait your turn, particularly at the quarterback position, that this young man has come in here, won the job as a true freshman, and performing the way that he is. To forget his physical talent, which is great, but to mentally be able to process all that you have to process and play against these defenses who are intent on harassing the quarterback. I'm pretty amazed myself. Your thoughts on how this guy's played?
Yeah, it's amazing. I think it just goes back. Just pretty much say the kind of character guy he is. To be able to take all the stuff he got to take in. Like getting accustomed to the college life as well as the football side of things. So for him to be a starting quarterback at the University of Alabama as a true freshman, that's something that I can never recall happening at Alabama. You see it at the other places, but to be honest with you, I would never thought that he will actually be the starter. Like during the whole fall camp or summer workouts, I mean, you heard stories coming out of practice about how good he was doing, but I mean, you kind of had in the back of your mind, they may play him here or he might be in for mop-up duties here and there, but to see how he came in at the USC game and pretty much ran with the job from there has been very impressive. He's getting better and better every week. I mean, last Saturday, in my opinion, I think that was like one of our best offensive games we've played this year. So as long as he continues to progress and do a good job, just do what's inside of the playbook and keep his head on right, he's going to do some special things at Alabama.
Former Crimson Tide linebacker Terrence Jones, our guest here on the Gary Harris Show, reminiscing about Tennessee games of the past, looking ahead to Saturday. I want to ask you, since you're only 10 years removed from playing yourself, but I can remember in the early 2000s, we saw some concepts of the spread. I mean, you saw some teams starting to put 4 wide receivers in and spread the field a little bit, but basically when you played, it was still, for the most part, teams had 2 backs, a tight end, 2 wide receivers. Just talk about, just since you played, how much offense, as a former defensive guy looking at these offenses, I mean, it's a completely different game offensively, the way these teams run offense. Now, even Alabama, from when just you played, isn't it?
Yeah, it's completely different. Think about it, like in the past, when I was coming out, I mean, like you were saying, 2 backs and a tight end. So, you know, the ideal linebacker at that time, I mean, you want to be about 6'2", 245, 250. You want a little big linebacker.
Yeah.
So now with these spread offenses, I mean, you got guys 225, 230, 235. As long as they can run, they out there making plays. So, I mean, the game has really, really changed. You know, me personally, I wish I'd have had the opportunity to face more teams like this. You know, I was never that big guy,
right.
But, you know, so it's definitely changed. So, and kind of crazy how Bama is also going more towards the spread concept. And, you know, how Saban was so against the whole no-huddle type offense. So kind of like funny to see how we actually migrated to that. But
you know,
like
Terrence, that's what makes him great, though, isn't it? Because, I mean, I still think, to be honest with you, I still think he'd rather play the game the way it was played when he first got here. You get those big defensive line like you talked about, and you power people and you out-physical them. But, you know, he evolved. He changed because he had to do it. I mean, that's what the great coaches do, going back to Bryant. I mean, they evolve, and the fact that he's been able to stay, because you remember just 2 or 3 years ago, people were saying, well, the spread is his kryptonite. Saban's been passed, but wasn't the case.
That's right. Yep, that pretty much goes to prove how good of a coach he is. I mean, things are always changing, and if you want to have success, you got to be on top of it. You got to be able to change with it also. So he's done a good job of that. So keep up the good work, Coach.
Hey, I want to ask you, because you mentioned that 2005 team and what a special group it was, and all those guys on defense, yourself, Roman Harper, Mark Anderson, Charlie Pepper, it goes on and on. D'Amico Ryans, I mean, a number of those guys played in the NFL. We always talk about football, you know, being a team sport and being the ultimate team game and it being a brotherhood. Does that group of guys you played with in 2005, 2006, y'all keep in touch, and is it still kind of like that, still kind of like a team? You stay in touch with those guys?
Yeah, I do. For the most part, I talk to D'Amico like every other day. Me and Jawan Simpson, we talk quite regularly. So, and a couple of guys, Matt Caddell, DJ Hall, like a lot of those guys, we still stay in contact, whether it's phone call or social media. But like you said, man, we formed a brotherhood. It was more than football with us. You know, we actually cared about each other, and it just kind of like helped develop a friendship to a brotherhood. So, like, whenever we get an opportunity to come back to Tuscaloosa for like a homecoming game or 8A game, we try to coordinate it together, get us all there, so we just catch up with everybody and just pretty much have a good time. So, yeah, so it's definitely a brotherhood. Great friendships developed back then and still exist to this day. So, yeah.
You're in the business world now over in Birmingham. Tell everybody what you're up to these days.
Okay, I'm actually a sales manager here at Verizon Wireless in Birmingham. Been up here for 8 years now. I love my job, so just trying to make some money.
Yeah, if you need a phone or you need some type of wireless device and you're in Birmingham, go see Terrence Jones at Verizon. Hey, real quickly, just go ahead and give me a prediction for Saturday, Alabama, Tennessee.
Saturday, Alabama will win. Score will be 31-14.
Terrence Jones has the Tide rolling over the Vols by 17 on Saturday. Hey, man, good to catch up with you. I appreciate the time. Have a great day.
All right, same for you, Gary. Have a good one.